entrepreneur is that every single business incurs debt the moment you start it. The question is what type of debt you're going to incur. And so, for example, if you bootstrap a business, as in you take no outside capital when you start it, you just fund it yourself and you own it and you grow it organically, then the debt that you take on is going to be that you're not going to have enough money to get the best talent in the door. And so you're going to have talent debt. You're probably not going to have enough money to get the right technological infrastructure in place to run the entire business. So you'll take on technological debt, right? And you can go down the line and start thinking about all the other ancillary non-financial versions of debt. Now, businesses that choose to take on financial debt choose to take on that debt instead of the other types of debt because of the nature of the competitive dynamics of the market they're in. And so those types of businesses typically are in businesses that take a tremendous amount of capital to start up and scale, or they're in winner-take-all markets where speed is the primary objective of the business so that they can capture the opportunity and then fundamentally become monopolies of a new type. So Facebook, for example, became a monopoly of attention to a large degree. Now, because there are other social media platforms, they get away with that, but they have created a big moat around all of the attention that exists in media. And so for them, there's only one real big social network that was going to exist. And so they then captured it. Of course, LinkedIn was like, well, is there a version of that we can do for business professionals? And then they captured that. Now, can you imagine now another professional social media platform being like, oh, we're now starting up. It's like, there's no room for you. Right? It's already done. That market is captured. And so when there were other companies that were competing for the same market, and the people who were able to raise the most money, spend the most money the fastest, attract the best talent, were able to capture it the fastest, then sealing their competitive moat to keeping that as a long-term cash cow over the long haul. Which means that those businesses lose a tremendous amount of money for a short period of time, and then they're able to kind of get over the hump and then become cash machines. And so, for example, Amazon was unprofitable for 9 years, famously. And there's an interview of Jeff Bezos getting grilled on the Tonight Show, I think, with Jay Leno. Is it Jay Leno? Yeah, with Jay Leno. And he's like, you guys don't make any money. And Jeff Bezos just gives it, he does this like weird laugh. And he's like, yeah, we don't, but we could. We just choose not to because we get better returns on our capital by continuing to expand our infrastructure so that we can eventually support literally delivering things the next day to every single customer in America. Notwithstanding the fact that they have the single most successful subscription in history in Amazon Prime. More people are subscribed to Amazon Prime than own a Bible. They have over 300 million subscribers. That's almost every single person in America is subscribed to a digital subscription for $99 per year, which I think now is $135, to have the ability, the privilege of shopping on their platform and getting faster shipping. And so when Bezos was making the investment of capital into the business, he asked the question, not what do I think is going to change in the next 10 years? He said, what things won't change in the next 10 years? And so he realized that there are some fundamentals that will never not be true. People will always want things to be faster. People always will want things to be easier. People always will want things to be risk-free. And if you can create an outcome that is desirable, fast, easy, and risk-free, then you have an incredibly valuable business. And so this corresponds with the value equation in the $100 Million Offers book. And so time delay is speed, ease is going to be effort and sacrifice, perceived life of achievement is your risk, and then the dream outcome is making sure that you're not just making things fast, easy, and risk-free that no one wants, right? And so that's the dream outcome component. And so getting things to your door, a lot of people want that. If you can do it faster, they like that more. If you can make it easy for them, they like that even better. And if you can make it so that the purchase they had is very likely to be good, aka the entire review system that Amazon pioneered. Reviews were not a thing. Think about how crazy this is. They were not a thing, and a lot of people were afraid and pushed against Bezos when he wanted to roll out reviews because they were afraid that sellers would hate it. But he bet on the fact that customers long-term would want the transparency